Hello and welcome back to the Get Career Curious podcast, the podcast that gives you the inside scoop on careers and what it takes to get there. Today's guest is actually a close friend of mine who I grew up playing baseball with, and currently is a pitcher for the Angels organization, working his way up through the minors. His name is Trey Gregory-Alford, and he's from Colorado Springs, Colorado, and he brings a unique and interesting perspective for both athletes and non-athletes alike about what it takes to make it at the highest level. All right, everybody. Welcome Mr. Trey Gregory-Alford himself to the podcast. Thank you for joining Get Career Curious.
Yeah, it's good to have you. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
For sure. So for you guys who don't know, me and Trey actually grew up playing baseball, club baseball of high school together. So we're actually really good friends, which is why this episode is going to be fun for me. So Trey, why don't we just start by, I kind of know a little bit about it because I was with you, but what did your daily routine in high school look like? And what were you doing in particular, like when you started to chase the draft and even before?
I don't want to go too far back. I'll go to my senior year, really, at the end of the day. Actually, I'll go a little bit before that, kind of once I realized, like, there would be a future with baseball for me. I was like 15, 16 at the time, kind of when I met Nolan. We played at the same travel ball CBA out in Colorado Springs, and really, I'd go home from school, go to the club practice, get a lift in, go home, kind of do the same thing again. But really, what I remember the best was my senior year. I would have class, like, season starts early March actually, and I'd have class, go to practice from like 3:30 to 6. We had long practices during high school, bro. Like, you remember how it was. Yeah. And so we had practice from like 3:30 to 6, and then I'd go to just a little indoor facility. I'd get a lift in, hit a little bit more. If I had to throw a bullpen that day, I'd go throw there, and then go right back home and make a nice little protein shake, get some nice dinner in me, do homework while I could, and do the same thing again. I didn't really realize like how much, because I get home at like 10:30 sometimes, and it'd be like, man, I'm actually looking back at it now, like I was doing a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
And going into my senior year in the fall, like I caught a lot of attention from some pro scouts and some college scouts, but at that time I was already committed to University of Virginia, played baseball there, and so after the whole summer circuit going into my senior year, got a lot of notice from scouts and did a lot of winter meetings. Like, they'd come over to my house, kind of want to get to know me, really, like who I am outside of baseball, kind of what goals I have in life, what goals I have for baseball, and kind of see how far that could take me. And really, it was a big change. Like, it kind of all hit me really fast, but I loved every sec. I probably wouldn't be here now without God and what this plan He has for me. And I'm loving every second of it. It was a big change. I will say it's different, but like at the end of the day, it's a sport. Like, I'm getting paid to play a sport I love to play. I still think of it as a sport no matter what, not as a game. But at the end of the day, it is a job now. And I feel like that's been the biggest thing. Because like right now, it's pretty much the same thing, like day in, day out. When I was out in AZ this past year, the Arizona Complex League, get to the field around 12:30 every day. Had a game at 6 o'clock. So between that time, it was you'd eat lunch, have a couple meetings, go do stuff on the field, do pitcher fielding practice, PFPs, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Really just a lot of that stuff. And then we'd have the game at 6. We wouldn't get done till about like 8:39. Get back to the apartment around 9:30-ish, just depending on when the game ended, and just go from there. So, and then there was the same thing the next day, just maybe a different team.
Sorry, not to cut you. I was just saying, I think that's the thing with
No, you
sport
good.
is you're just, all athletes say it becomes your life, especially the higher the levels you go with it, is you're going to be busier and busier. So what was big for you in balancing your lifestyle, getting to still be a kid and also training to be a professional athlete?
I mean, at the end of the day, like even now, it's just I decided to keep having fun. Like, you can't be too, especially in baseball, you can't be hard on yourself. You're gonna fail. You're gonna have failure throughout life. It was hard at first, I will say. Like, it was a challenge, kind of being away from home for the first time on my own. It was just a little bit extra every year. At the end of the day, like When I was 16, it was just doing travel ball tournaments, showcases. Like if a college coach saw me, great. I'd contact them. Like they'd contact me, I'd contact them, type of thing. And as I got to this professional level, it was more just like, all right, you got to make it to breakfast. After breakfast, make it to lunch. Lunch, make dinner. You got to stay grounded in the day. You know, and I feel like that was the biggest thing for me, just taking the season day by day, knowing it's gonna be a long season, gonna be a long year. That was really the biggest thing for me.
It's awesome. And yeah, I agree. I mean, I played only a year in college, but that was the same thing. It gets to a point where you are doing the same stuff every day. So it's like you do have to just look for the highlights of the day and just get to that and make it through. And
Oh yeah.
ultimately, there's going to be better weeks than there are bad weeks. So you just got to keep going. On that kind of same note,
hmm
what are some of the sacrifices that you've had to make in order to be able to get to the position you're at, that a lot of people who, think of a professional sport as just a game, as you said, what do they not see that you have to sacrifice to be where you're at?
Man, I will say a lot of free time.
Mhm.
I kind of gave up, especially during high school. So, I mean, during I didn't go to college. I got drafted out of high school, but like with you playing your first year, you got school, you got your meetings, you got office hours, then you got practice, then you got weights and like everything with that. So I will say we have more free time and like bigger spaces now. Like I got done today around 2ish. Got back at my house at like 2:30, and the rest of the day it's kind of up to what do you want to do out here. Like I mean, at least here in AZ and wherever I may be, it's like what do you want to do? Don't be stupid, and like kind of grow with friends. I grow new people. Like I didn't really know a lot of people out here when I first came out here, and now it's almost like their family because I've been around them for so long. But I definitely say free time was a big sacrifice for me. Hanging out with friends, like just knowing I had to work on my craft. Like I don't want to say like at the end of the day is how bad you want it, but like if you have a dream like for yourself and what's something you wanted and like all right, this could be like just something I want to do in my future. Like I want to keep this growing. Like got to be dedicated to it. At the end of the day, work your hardest with what you're doing with it. And one more I'd say I gave up was, man, I haven't thought about it too much, but like I don't want to say having fun like outside of the field, but like during high school, it was just like time with friends was kind of
Yeah.
slimming down a little bit. Just I started to realize like I got to focus on this more,
Yeah,
just
priorities.
because of a future you may have. You kind of have to like reset your priorities with stuff you do. And then those days you don't have baseball, the days you don't have class, like I like to take advantage of it at least and go do something else. Because 6 days out of the week we're at the field at the complex doing
Yeah, so yeah, gotta make the most of the free time. It's limited, man.
pretty much. Yeah, I don't really know if there's like a perfect answer to that. Like I feel like everyone's gonna sacrifice something different no matter what. But looking back at this past year and really to where I've come, yeah, I'd say a lot of it was just mostly just resetting my priorities, figuring like starting to eat a little cleaner, working out better, taking more time with your workouts. I keep saying time, 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 but like that's kind of how it is. It's going to take up a lot of time, at least for baseball.
Yeah, I know. Baseball especially, but really any sport. I mean, it's such a time window dependent thing. You get recruited in high school and then that window closes, and if you make it on, it's the same thing in college and pro. Pivoting a
Yeah,
little
man.
bit now from the preparation into the actual game and mindset behind that, I wanted to just ask you, how have you had to handle pressure when, scouts and coaches were watching? Obviously, that's a big part of getting to the next level is you have to perform when people are there and you get the opportunities. But um, I mean, speaking from a little personal experience, it's never easy having somebody watching you. And I know for you, you're getting some pretty big time scouts when the MLB's coming to high school games. That's got to be a crazy feeling and,
hmm
and, and a little bit anxiety ridden.
I will say for like pressure wise, I think I handle it pretty well. Like there's been times during the season where it's kind of caught up to me. I haven't really like looked at it, like noticed it in the moment. But I feel like handling pressure is more just kind of clearing everything out. Like the pressure is going to be there. Like just in all aspects of your life, pressure is going to be there. So I feel like controlling what you can control, and I don't want to say like getting used to pressure, but like you almost don't want to think about it,
Yeah.
And I know that's kind of hard to say. I know that's kind of hard to like do. Getting comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, there's so many moving parts, especially as a pitcher. You can't control everything. And I think I liked what you said a lot about just control what you can control, and then take a deep breath and say, if I'm doing that right, then there's nothing more that I can do.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like at the end of the day, as a pitcher, our job is to throw a little white ball in this little invisible box.
Yeah.
After we do that, we can't then make the fielders field the ball for us. I can't make our center fielder go make a diving catch in the outfield. That's just something. That's just also trusting your teammates, almost trusting your peers. If you want to like bring it into life, like trusting your teammates, trusting your peers, controlling what you can control. Like at the end of the day, once I make that pitch, whatever happens.
Yeah, I like how you said it is a life thing, and that's a great point for this podcast. Obviously, a lot of people are watching this for career advice and are looking at jobs in the corporate world or in the medical world, etc. And there's always going to be times where you're working on a team to do something stressful, and same thing as being a pitcher, you just got to say, hey, I got to handle my part of it and trust the people around me. So appreciate that detail. Moving a little bit more into, again, that mindset portion. What's like a mindset shift that you think separates good players from great players? And I know you're obviously around a lot of great players right now, so you're probably learning that as you go.
Oh man, I'd say, I don't want to say dedication, but coming in after day out, learning something new every day, trying to make yourself 1% better every day. If I'm not pitching that day, it's like, all right, how can I get better in the weight room? How could I get better on the mobility side of the sport? How could I get better at the game planning, mental side of it? Baseball is really mental. It's really, I'd say it's more mental than it is physical. In the day, like, yeah, we're athletes. We're going to put our bodies under a lot of stress. But I'd say having the strong mind, having a good support group, and knowing stuff isn't going to change overnight.
Okay. Something else you were talking about that caught my attention I wanted to ask you about is you pointed out, like, in anything, but especially baseball, it's one of those sports where you're going to fail more than you succeed. And again, it's a mental game. You got to pick yourself up. What's something that you do to kind of help reset your mind after a bad game or a bad outing?
Man, first, like, I'll kind of look back, see what I could have done a little better, and go from there, going throughout that start, going into my next start, like, all right, this is what I need to work on throughout this week to be the best version of myself for that next time I step on the mound. And just not dwelling on a bunch of stuff, in sports, especially if you're dwelling in one spot for a while, it's going to tear you down a little bit. But like the biggest thing is just not dwelling in failure, like knowing failure is going to happen, but what can you do from it that could make you better that next time? I have a big faith in Christ when it comes to just everything in my life. And instead of just looking at stuff like, oh, why is this happening to me? It's like, what can I do to learn from it? Like, what is God trying to teach me in this situation?
Yeah, what's the lesson? Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Yeah, so moving a little bit more to the business side of things, I know you obviously didn't have the traditional trek to the minors. What kind of surprised you about the process of being drafted and getting approached by different people? And obviously it's a big decision to make whether I, go to Virginia, go to college, or if I take a shot and trust myself and what the work I've put in and go straight to the minors, which is a big jump.
Honestly, I'd say just the culture change, really. Like I said earlier, kind of realizing that it is a job, but like, like I'd said, I'd feel like just the fact it's a job now for me was the biggest thing. And like knowing you can't do stupid stuff or you're going to get fired at the end of the day. Like I can't go skiing anymore. I know I can't go play a basketball game. I can't play football. Like these are just examples, you know.
Mhm.
I feel like it's kind of realizing it's just like the culture change and meeting new people and realizing that it is a job.
How is it different, like the minor league life, than you imagined it to be? Maybe walk us through what's a day in your life or a week in your life right now sort of look like.
Yeah. So like today, I we had a game today. I threw 2 innings in. So right now we'll get to the field around 7:15, just depending on what time we get there. We have a meeting at 7:30. Have another pitchers meeting at 8, and then today was games at 11. We finished up the meetings around 8:45, 8:30. Came in, did that, kind of hung out for a little bit in the clubhouse, played a couple cards, just talked with the boys out in there, and then I'd go through my mobility prep routine around like 9:30, do everything I need to do before the game at 11, and pitch there. Gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, like nothing too crazy. Like right now, this is time for us to work on stuff. Like season's over. These are non-competitive games. It's just how it's working on our craft basically. So, and then I got back home. Well, after the game, got a little lift in. Today was more of like an upper body and lower body. So did some bench press, some dumbbell step up, RDLs. What else we do? A lot of core and mobility stuff we've always been doing in our workouts. Just because, like I realized it this past year is just keeping my body healthy and keeping my core strong makes the world difference in the way I play and like the athlete I am and can be. Then after that, got some arm care in, make sure my arm is gonna be okay the next day, taking care of it. Like we have a thing called like a cuff program. It's just us working on our rotator cuff muscles, with like a 5 pound weight, nothing crazy. And got back home around 2, and then now I'm back here with you. Each day really outside the field kind of changes. Like probably tomorrow I'll go play some golf. Like if we get done early, get some golf in, that's it. And then see what we're gonna do that night. Probably nothing crazy. I like movies. Me personally, I'm a gamer. I like to play a lot of 2K now.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you guys are big 2K people or like to play 2K, but that's kind of got a hold on me right now. So I'll be playing that a good amount of the time.
And Trey, like I said, with you dealing with a lot of agents and scouts, being at a young age in high school, what advice would you give to kids of all ages, whether it be college and whichever sport it is, dealing with the process of moving up a level? And it obviously gets more and more, professional job, like as you said.
Man, at the end of the day, I feel like it's just trusting yourself. Like, I wish I could talk more about like on the business side of things and like careers outside of sports and baseball. But for me, I'd say the biggest thing is just knowing yourself and knowing what you're capable of and learning from and growing from your peers, growing from your support group. Like, I feel like each day I'm pretty much learning something new, or at least I'm trying to.
Yeah, that like when you're getting recruited, you can only do so much. People are going to make their decisions. But I like what you said. It's like, what you bring to the table, what you're worth. So never settle for anything less than that. Moving on from that,
Exactly.
for kids who might not get drafted out of high school like you did, how can they keep their dream alive? I mean, we've played with lots of guys who went the junior college route. What advice or thoughts would you have for, those who aren't getting the opportunity you did, but still want to keep playing?
First thing I will say is keep having fun. Like, you're playing a sport you love and you have a chance to make it your career. Like, keep having fun with it. I feel like at the end of the day, if you're not having fun doing something you love, then it might not be I wouldn't say the best for you, but like, this might not be what you're expecting, what you're wanting. Um, Another thing is you got to love it. I mean, I went to this showcase during my senior year, season started, and we had one of the Brewers coaches talk to us. It was just, this sport's long. You could have a long career in it, and you got to love it. If it's not something you love, it's something you want to keep pushing for, then I don't want to say it's not for you, but like kind of you gotta figure that out for yourself at the end of the day. Um, and
You can't
always
last in something that you're not passionate about. So I get what you mean.
exactly, exactly.
Trey's camera was just messing around for a second, so we're back. What's one skill, whether physical or mental, that you think every young athlete should work to develop?
I'd really say try to stay as athletic as you can and get strong. Especially if you're wanting to be an athlete at the collegiate level, professional level, get strong while you can. We're young. We got a whole lot of hormones kind of going through our body. Like use that to your advantage, you know? Get strong and try to stay as healthy as you can. I'd say is my like biggest thing.
Yeah, no, prioritize your health, especially like you said, when you're young, that's your time to build your body, build your foundation. So you're eating healthy, you're
Bingo.
one step in the right direction. And I guess I'll leave it to you, Trey, for the last one. But what's like a piece of advice that you'd tell your 15-year-old self right now, going into high school baseball? You've come so far since then. What would you tell
Live in
them?
the moment. Live in the moment. Love yourself. And know God's got a plan for you no matter what. Trust in God and know what He has for you.
Wow, what a great conversation. Trey reminded us of 3 powerful truths today. First, consistency beats talent when talent forgets to show up. Your routine becomes your edge. Second, pressure isn't your enemy. It's the invitation to focus on what you can control and trust the people around you. And third, becoming great isn't an overnight leap. It's learning, failing, adjusting, and getting that 1% better every day. And here's the best part of all this. These lessons don't just apply to athletes. Whether you're building a career, launching something new, or simply trying to grow as a person, the same principles apply. Consistency compounds, pressure clarifies, and progress stacks over time. So no matter your field, these truths can reshape the way you show up each and every day. If this episode inspires you, or if you're navigating your own version of what's next, I'd love for you to join the Get Career Curious community. It's totally free, and it's where conversations like this continue every week. So please visit getcareercurious.com or check out our YouTube channel at Get Career Curious. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time. Stay curious.